Welcome to the 2020 Nest Watch training class for Kenton County Parks and Recreation in partnership with the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. My name is Chrysula Stone, and I will be facilitating this training. I have been our chapter coordinator since we became a chapter in 2014. It is my pleasure to create this virtual training session for you today as a stand-in for the annual class I normally host with Rhonda Ritzie for Kenton County Parks. As you know, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we were not able to host this class face-to-face, so I intend to provide as many resources to you as possible virtually. Please feel free to reach out to me by phone, text, or email with any questions, and I'll be happy to help. The Northern Kentucky Bluebird Trail was created in 1998 by Bill Angel, a volunteer, and Steve Trauger, the Recreation Programs Coordinator, who is in this picture holding a nest box. The first route had 40 boxes with the round hole entrance. These were later changed to the slot front entrance, which allows birds to escape house sparrow attacks, and about 100 boxes were installed throughout the parks as an Eagle Scout project. Our beloved Steve has since retired, and we now have a new Recreation Programs Coordinator, the lovely, award-winning Ms. Rhonda Ritzie, who has been with us for 3.5 years now. Rhonda is our contact with the parks, and she is wonderful to work with. We were set up as a Nest Watch chapter in 2014, and we are still the first and only chapter in Kentucky. Nest boxes are pleasant to have in the park and enjoyable to monitor, but they also serve an ecological purpose in providing habitat for bluebirds to nest. Additionally, nest boxes naturally make our parks more enjoyable for recreation, as breeding tree swallows ingest thousands of insects, including mosquitoes. It is believed that each tree swallow ingests between 1,000 to 2,000 insects per day. In the photo on the bottom right, you can see an image of a nest box in one of our parks, and on the left, you'll see a picture of some baby bluebirds that were in one of my nest boxes a few years ago. Look at the little toe on the little beak. So what exactly does a nest box monitor do? A volunteer monitor or pair of monitors is assigned a route during the breeding season, which usually spans from late March until nesting is complete, which is around late July to mid-August, depending upon the species you have in your boxes. If you have house wrens in your boxes, you can expect to continue monitoring until mid-August. If you only have bluebirds and tree swallows, those will usually be complete by the end of July. The boxes are checked once or twice per week, and the monitor cleans out the nest boxes when the nest attempt has been completed. The monitor will also report any damages or need for repairs to Kenton County Parks. To the right, you'll see a copy of the data sheet we use to record activity at the nest box. This is a rudimentary record that is independent of NestWatch and keeps track of what is going on with each box, whether there is nesting activity or not, what species are nesting there, etc. It's good to have a paper record of the activity at each box, just so we know what kinds of species are nesting there, what issues we might be noticing with the box, etc. The level of data collection is entirely up to the volunteer. If all a volunteer feels like doing or is able to do is to check the boxes once a week and keep a simple record like on this data sheet to the right, and making sure that the boxes are cleaned out and in good shape, that is really the most important part of being a monitor. If a monitor would like to do more than that, of course they do have the option to collect additional data to submit to NestWatch, but they don't have to. If all a monitor is able to do is check boxes and keep a simple paper record, that is all that is really needed for the nesting birds, and we are thankful for that. Let me take a moment to introduce the 4 native species we commonly see in our nest boxes. Moving clockwise, we'll start with the star of the show and the main reason nest boxes are put up, the lovely, venerable, and always enjoyable eastern bluebird. Bluebird nests are beautiful and easy to monitor, and the presence of nest boxes has played a vital role in keeping their population numbers stable. This species was in decline due to habitat loss and invasive house sparrows, and is now listed as low concern because of you, the nest box monitors who continue to provide habitat for them. If you're like me, you'll fall in love the first time you have a bluebird nest in one of your boxes, and will always rejoice with every new nest. Next, we have the iridescent, aerodynamic, well-traveled tree swallow. Although bluebirds are the star of the show, these stunning beauties are no second act. The introduction of nest boxes for bluebirds has also benefited the tree swallow, and we are happy to host them. Monitoring their nests can be a little more adventurous than monitoring a bluebird nest. These little guys don't really appreciate you going near their boxes, and they will make that abundantly clear to you by whooshing past the crown of your head in a psych-out dive bomb. I suspect deep down they know we aren't going to hurt them, because birds are so much smarter than we give them credit for, but they still do due diligence in their dive bombing displays. Most of the time, the dive bombing is what I would call an entertaining experience that entails a breeze and hearing the whoosh of feathers over the top of your head. Don't worry, they only very rarely will graze the tip of your head with their feet, so if you wear a hat and keep your visits short, you'll be all right. If you have untreated, clean white feathers, you can release one into the breeze and they will pick it up off the ground or snatch it midair and play with it. Playing with feathers is part of their courtship display, and they will then use these feathers to line their nests with. Tree swallow nests tend to have more dirt and drama than bluebird nests, but you'll really grow to love them. Just wear a hat when you check the boxes and gloves when you clean the boxes out. Moving on to the Carolina chickadee. What's not to love about them? They are as lovely as they look. Friendly almost to a fault. I think of these little guys as docents of the forest, because other birds seek them out for tips on where to find food. Chickadee nests are made of moss lined with animal hair, and can be found in boxes that are in the woods. If you are fortunate enough to have one of these nests in your boxes, you will be delighted. And last, but not least, we have the spunky, persistent, and bubbly house wren. House wren numbers have increased in our parks in recent years, which may be a result of shifting weather patterns due to climate change. Hosting their nests can be both pleasant and frustrating. They are notoriously bad neighbors, known to enter other nest boxes, poke holes in the eggs and toss them out of the box, then build a nest on top. The males will take up precious nest box real estate by filling empty boxes full of sticks, which are known as dummy nests, for females to maybe, just maybe, select for a nest. Often they sit there the whole season just being wasted. If you don't have the right kind of box, their nests can also be difficult to monitor because they are surrounded by a stick fortress with a cup that is all the way in the back. Although they can be more challenging than our easy-peasy bluebirds, it is important to remember that this species is native to this habitat and they are protected under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, so it is illegal to remove their nests or to harm them in any way. That said, after you sigh a few times, and once you can accept these little buggers for their adaptive behaviors, it's really not hard to grow to love them just as much as you'll love the other birds in our nest boxes. Unlike most songbirds, house wren females will sing. Their song is rich and bubbly, and so loud for such a tiny little bird. House wren nestlings are adorable, and you will really appreciate how hard the mom works to care for them. I encourage all monitors to take some time to learn about these species by reading about them and hearing their songs on websites like www.allaboutbirds.org.